I don't think I've ever really done this before, but I'd like to take this time to kindly please ask you to rate this video whatever you think it deserved. If you watched it, liked it, had a good time, please leave it with a thumbs up rating. If you watched it, didn't quite like it, something was wrong with it, or you just fundamentally hate me as a person, leave a dislike rating because I like the feedback. I kind of want to gauge where I'm at with how many people are watching and how many people are enjoying, so it'll just help me get a better grasp on what you guys are appreciating. In any case, this is a battle against LikeTeh2bez using the same team we had last time. Tubes is one of those guys who's, he's really been there for me. He's been a shoulder to cry on for the last year or so, so it's always nice to get a battle with him, and let's just dive right in. He's got a Starmie, and I've got Metagross. As we've already established, this Metagross is bulky and doesn't afraid of anything, so I'm just going to fire off an EQ, kind of gauge for damage, and that looks like a fairly bulky Starmie. Like, it didn't really deal too much to me, and it kind of took that Earthquake really well. Even though I have very minimal attack investment, I'm still base 130 attack, so his Surf, I'm doing more with Earthquakes than he is doing the Surfs, so I'm expecting to kind of come out on the better end of this engagement, so I'm expecting him to see that and switch, so I switch things up and go for Meteor Mash, but it doesn't quite work out. I still deal more than his Surf, which is pretty funny. Plus there was a chance for a Mash Race, so like, why not? I'm kind of thinking, like, when do I want to start resting up and going for Sleep Talks? And I'm also wondering, like, why is he so content with letting Starmie take all these hits? He must have Recover, so I'm kind of expecting him to recover right here, so I'm going to go for Rest myself because I don't want to hit him if he's going to recover. And as expected, he does recover, and most Starmies that I've dealt with usually have Bolt, Beam, Surf, and Rapid Spin, so I'm kind of thinking in my head he had to cut one of those moves out, so I got to decide which one he doesn't have and how I can take advantage of that. So I'm not going to stay in and go for Sleep Talk right off the bat because I might miss, I might get a rest or something, so I'm just going to go right to Celebi, and I'm going to call his bluff right off the bat. Do you have Ice Beam or do you have Tbolt? His Surf does next to nothing, and I should be able to live an Ice Beam regardless, so I'm just going to go for a Leech Seed, kind of expecting him to switch, because I think if he's going to have another move, he's going to have Tbolt, and he does switch, so that's pretty sweet. And in comes Registeel, so I get a nice little Leech Seed on that, and I'm expecting T-Wave or Stealth Rocks or something, so I'm just going to stay in for one more turn, kind of see what he wants to do, and Heal Bell off the rest on my Metagross, because even though he's kind of supposed to be asleep, Rest Talk isn't exactly that reliable, so I'm just going to get rid of that while I can. He does set up rocks as expected, so now I've got options. My Gyarados is kind of screwed. It's only going to get 4 switch-ins now, maximum, so I'm going to go right into my Metagross, and I'm going to start firing off Earthquakes, so that was the plan anyway. He decides to go right into Heatran, and I know I can live a timid Heatran Fire Blast, just barely though, or I think I can anyways. So I'm going to go into my Heatran expecting a Fire Blast, and he actually goes for it, which is sweet. He just goes for Stab right off the bat, and now I've got options. Is he going to be modest? Is he going to be timid? What's going on? So I'm going to set up a sub on the first turn just to kind of see who's faster. If he's faster, then I do have Gyarados, who will be faster and can hit him with Earthquake. And I kind of want to figure out what item he has. He reveals Earth Power, so that tells me he's absolutely definitely not choiced. But I haven't hit him yet, so I don't know if he's got Leftovers or Shuckaberry or Lumberry or something stupid like that. So I'm going to set up another sub just on the off chance that he switched there because he realized that he was slower. The fact that he's staying in with confidence like this is telling me, like, even though he's slower, is telling me he's probably got a Shuckaberry, but there's not really anything I can do about it, man. Metagross can't come in because he does have Shuckaberry, and Earthquaking with Metagross would be stupid. He just 2-hit KOs me. Because the fact that I'm faster tells me he's probably modest, so Gyarados could come in again with Earthquake, but I'm afraid of taking Rocks and Fire Blast, and he actually reveals his Hidden Power Electric to me after this little exchange goes down, so that wouldn't have been ideal. I had to sacrifice something, and Heatran looked like the best option at the time. He would have definitely come in handy later, and I don't have him, but, I can't exactly expect that. I am going to go into my Gyarados, which is Scarfed, and I'm going to Revenge Kill him, which is very good because, he did reveal to me in the chat that he has HP Electric, so had I tried to set up on him, he would have been able to kill me. Of course, I'm Scarfed, so I can't set up, and that's totally all irrelevant. So he's going to go into something to resist Waterfall now, even though he knows I'm not Scarfed. Or he doesn't know I'm Scarfed, actually. And in comes the Starmie, so I don't want to take a Tbolt. He's definitely faster. Or, actually, I think I'd be faster, but, you know, I'm locked onto Waterfall, and I need to be locked on Earthquake if I'm going to play that game with him. Plus, I need to get, like, a free hit off on it, so... I go to Celebi because I can completely wall that thing 100%, and I'm going to just fire off more Leech Seeds, why not? I do miss the first one, which is kind of okay. I'm not really too upset because I'll just stay in for the next turn, hit him with the second one, and he goes for T-Wave, so... You know, it's kind of good that I didn't get anything else T-Waved. I can just natural cure out instead of having to use Heal Bell, and that's always nice. I'm not sure what to expect from him next turn. I think I'm just going to go into Metagross so I can fire off Earthquakes again, like that's what I did last time, so... that's probably too obvious of a plan on my side, so I decide I'm going to go for a Leech Seed this turn, and it works out nicely. He goes into a Sceptile. He goes into a Flygon, which... Obvious U-turn is obvious. I don't want to take that, even though I can live it fairly effectively. I think I only take 3/4 from it, but... You know, I still don't want to take it. Even if he does predict my switch and goes for, you know, Earthquake, then next turn I go to Gyara and, you know, I get a free Scarfed hit on whatever he wants to bring in, or, you know, whatever happens, happens. So, in comes a Mamoswine, and I'm like, okay, I don't exactly want to take an Earthquake from that thing. I don't want him predicting Gyarados and going for Stone Edge either, but, you know, I figure with Intimidate, it's probably still going to be the better play to go to Gyarados, and he actually ends up going for Earthquake, so that's pretty sweet. I don't know what item he has. He could be lefties. Like, I don't know why you'd run lefties on a Mamoswine, because they are, like, really, really brittle, fragile, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just going to stay and go for Earthquake. The fact that he doesn't go for Stone Edge tells me he's probably locked into that move, so I'm expecting Scarf or Band. Probably Band, because most of them are banded because of Ice Shard. And I stay in for one extra hit on the Starmie because I thought he'd recover, and I wanted to kind of get a little bit of damage on him there. And even if Gyarados dies, then, like, whatever, I get a free switch in with something. And I actually noticed that he's faster, so I'm like, okay, that's dumb. I don't know, I should be faster than that thing. So now I know that if it ever does come down to Gyarados versus Starmie, I'm going to lose, which is very frightening. However, I'm going to go into my Bronzong, Metagross, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it Bronzong sometimes because of that stupid name. And... I know I can come out on top in this situation because even if it comes down to PP stalling, I have Rest and he has Recover, so I'm going to be able to save PP. He is not, so I'm not exactly sure what he wants to go for next turn. I'm kind of expecting him to go for another Surf, and then he's faster, so at this point I can't risk him going for Surf and then you know, 2-hit KOing me, so I have to go for Rest, which it is unfortunate, but you know, what else could I do? My hands were tied. I can't lose my Metagross at this point. So he's going to switch out next turn as I go for Sleep Talk. I actually get lucky because he goes into a Levitator and Flygon, and I missed the Earth. I get a Sleep Talk to go on Meteor Mash and not Earthquake or Rest, which is pretty sweet. I'm gonna wreck that guy. And now it comes down to another turn of prediction. I could go to Celebi expecting Earthquake. I could go to Gyarados expecting Ground, but I don't want him U-turning, and I don't want him Stone Edging, predicting one of those, so I figure if I can... taking a hit with Metagross is definitely going to be the worst of 3 evils, so the lesser of 3 evils, I should have said. And I decided to stay in and hope for another Meteor Mash, which I actually get, so that's pretty cool. He was actually kind of ticked off about that, but, you know, there is a low chance for that to happen, but... You know, Focus Blast misses twice in a row all the time, so I figure, well, maybe I can get this to hit twice in a row. It's about the same chance, actually better in my favor, so... in comes Sceptile, and I was kind of hoping that he was HP Ice so I could live. I could definitely take into a Leaf Storm, plus Gubbs likes to sometimes run a ST Sceptile set, so I thought maybe I could stay in, get a rest up, and then I'd be fine, but unfortunately no, he does have Fire, and now I know that this Togekiss is actually going to be pretty safe. I go for Nasty Plot on the switch, and he actually switches into Registeel, which isn't the greatest play in my opinion. I could have gone for Flamethrower. It's a common weakness and a common attack on Togekiss, but pays off for him because, as we've already established, my Togekiss doesn't have Flamethrower. It's just got Air Slash, so I set up another Nasty Plot because I know T-Wave's coming, and Baton Passing into something expecting a T-Wave would be stupid, and it's better to have your Baton Passer paralyzed than your Baton Passee paralyzed. he makes an excellent play and goes into Starmie on this turn, and rather than trying to, stay in. I guess he didn't know I was Baton Pass at that point, so he felt he had to do some kind of damage to me if he was going to come out of that, so he does go for Tbolt on my Empoleon, and ouch, 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 it's going to hurt, but I know he's bulky, so I should be able to live. His Starmie's bulky, that is. I actually do live fairly convincingly, and I should be able to take another one, because I did take 20 points from rocks, and that did just under half, so unless that was absolute min and he gets absolute max next turn, I think I should be okay. I hit him with a surf. I did go for an agility, so I'm at +2 speed. I am faster, which is awesome. And he's going to knock me down. I'm going to get my Pitaya. That was actually a little bit closer than I expected, so that really scared me back when we were having the battle. I got my Pitaya, and I've got Torrent Boost, so that is a deadly, deadly, deadly surf. And he decides he just wants to fodder off his Starmie, and he does have Mamoswine kicking around with Ice Shard, and yes, a Choice Banded Mamoswine is able to do 12 hit points of damage to an Empoleon. Even though it is ×4 resisted, that's going to take me out. So there goes my Empoleon, and I think that was one of the crucial mistakes of the game. I'll get to that in a second. And this is the second crucial mistake in the game. I make two huge mistakes, and they end up pretty much costing me the game. I thought that Gyarados could take an Ice Shard after Intimidate. I was wrong. Gyarados is going to go down. He's going to take me out. I don't know what I was thinking. I really should have just gone into Celebi, which I go to right now, of course. And he's actually going to switch out, expecting me to just Psychic, which is what I should have done, but I just went for Leech Seed, so that's cool. And now we're in for Mega Stalwar against this Sceptile. He's going to hit me with HP Fires, but they're not going to do enough to 2-hit KO me. I'm going to be able to get a Heal Bell off, because I absolutely have to get a Heal Bell off to get rid of the paralysis on Togekiss. Otherwise, I have zero chance whatsoever. He's not going to be able to 2-hit KO me, as we already established, so it's really just a matter of whether he's going to crit me or not. I'm just going to keep recovering until I feel like I get to a comfortable HP, and then I'm going to go for Psychic, because I absolutely do not want him hitting me for a crit. So I feel like I shouldn't have Baton Passed into Empoleon. I should have Baton Passed into Celebi, because I knew Celebi can handle... My Celebi could handle everything he had left, and if it got like +3 special attack, then I would have been able to take out 1 or 2 guys, and then still had a full HP Empoleon. If I took out... like obviously, this is all in hindsight, but if I took out his Starmie and like even just his Starmie with this guy, then I would have been fine, because I'm gonna after an agility with Empoleon, I'm going to outspeed his Mamoswine, and I feel like I could have set up an agility at some point. It's all Theorymon, but I feel like I would have been able to have it had I not made that mistake, and maybe even if I hadn't just made the second mistake in going into Gyarados. I feel like if I had Gyarados kicking around, I could have done something, man. Unfortunately, I did make those mistakes. I should have Baton Passed into Celebi with the +4, but, looking back, it's easier to point out mistakes. So, in comes Mamoswine, and I only have one chance. I have to be able to take this, Leech Seed up, and then be able to take another one. So, that's my only chance. It's going to be close. Look at that. I'm going to get some recovery back with Leech Seed, and I'm going to be able to... it's going to be really close after lefties, but at this point it's looking like I'll be able to do it. And then, I've got Togekiss still kicking around. It's not paralyzed anymore. I should be able to take an Ice Shard with that as well. But unfortunately, Celebi is actually going to go down right here. I guess there was some min-max fluctuation, or maybe there was no fluctuation whatsoever. And that really stinks. Celebi goes down, and that pretty much ends the game. So even if this Ice Shard didn't crit, which he actually does get a crit on Togekiss, which guarantees it. I had a small % chance to live, but even then, I roost, and then he just kills me next turn. I can't flinch him if he's got priority, so that's a good game, Gubs. Looking back, I did make some crucial mistakes with, as I already pointed out, with Togekiss not going into Celebi with that Baton Pass and going into Gyarados, but even if I had recovered one more turn with Celebi, instead of Leech Seeding, I might have recovered more HP than I had. I think his Ice Shard did less than 50%, so I would have gained a little bit more back, and that might have put me into the realm of survivability. But I didn't do that, so, all I can say is great game. It's against a great player, a great friend, and that's it. So, I really appreciate the feedback on my descriptions. I'm going to continue putting more effort to make them more personal, as they have been getting increasingly personal as time has gone by, which is something I like. I like connecting with you guys and making you guys think, and rather than just, shouting obscenities and, crappy one-liners that don't mean anything. So that's it for me for right now, and I will catch you guys next time I upload. See you later.